All right, Rod. Two things. Let's transition over to the Jonnu side. And two, we are making a swear draw, Rod. You already owe $2. I just want you to know that. You
I
you
got you, man.
already
Got
you
you.
already know. You already are down $2. You feel me? If you want to go ahead and pay my gas for the week, man, shout out to you, dog. You running up a bill, baby. All right, man. That was a loss. Give it up on Smith. So let's let's focus in on that part, man. Why? And I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna ask this question right now, looking straight into the camera, Mr. Rod, man. Why
Repito.
the hell doesn't count, so I can say hell. I don't owe no dollars. Why the hell did the Miami Dolphins give up on Jonnu Smith after he had a career year? The floor is yours. Please explain to the masses. Please explain to me. Please explain to anybody that's gonna come across this YouTube video because I'm very confused.
Well, Herbie, I would love to be able to tell you that I was in the office, in the room, chopping it up with Chris Greer. Yeah, man. You know what, Johnny was this? That? Nah, man, Herbie, I'm as lost as you. And here's the thing, Herbie. This is the other question I had, right? Because I told you that this whole trade left me with more questions than answers, right? So my question when it comes to Jonnu, Herbie, is twofold. But the first question I have, and this is like super rhetorical, because we'll never really know. I have to wonder, Herbie, did the Dolphins see something, whether they looked at the tape, whether it was things they saw in practice? Like, did the Dolphins just think Jonnu had a fluke season? Right? Because that to
Absolutely,
me, like
absolutely.
that to me has to be the leading factor in them being so willing to let him go. Right? The second question I have, Herbie, for the Dolphins is the Dolphins prior to Jonnu Smith, Herbie, were in dire need of another pitch. We needed an off-speed pitch, Herbie. We had nothing but fastballs.
You
And
said that. You've mentioned that multiple times.
multiple times, right? He was the off-speed pitch to our offense, right? Like when teams are focused on Tyreek Hill, when teams are focused on Waddle, when teams are focused on Chan, he was our fourth option on offense, third in the passing game. And he provided an element that none of the other guys have. He could be a mismatched nightmare, right? You pair Jonnu up against a linebacker, you pair Jonnu up against a safety. Like at the end of the day, like he was when your fastballs ain't hitting, he was the changeup that could get a guy to swing and miss. He was the slider that could get a guy stuck on the stuck at bat. So it's like, bro, like at the end of the day, what are we doing to replace that production? Are we do the Dolphins feel that strongly about the pickup of Westbrook Akine? But he's a receiver, Herbie. You're not going to put him at tight end, right? So he's just another receiver, and we already have a loaded receiver room. We already have Tyreek. We already have Waddle. We already have Malik Washington, who has shown improvement due to reports. So at the end of the day, okay, we have a loaded receiver room, cool. But now, where do you get that matchup that teams really can't account for? Right. And then on the other end for Jonnu Smith, Herbie, I feel like Jonnu Smith probably feels like he's in Groundhog Day because Arthur Smith is the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. Jonnu Smith has played for him twice. And lo and behold, who did Jonnu have his best season with? The Dolphins. And obviously, that, of course, has to do, there's different factors for different teams, quarterback situation, the
Yeah,
talent
all
around
of that.
the coaching. Right. There's a lot of differences. But we like Arthur Smith, like Jonnu has seen the best that Arthur Smith can do for him. So I'm wondering if the Steelers just got him. And the Steelers are a team that have a bunch of tight ends already. You
And the
have
funny part, they have a bunch of tight ends, and Aaron Rodgers is not a tight end maker. That man don't care
yeah.
about no goddamn tight
Bro,
ends.
how many tight ends can you remember him playing with? Jermichael Finley? Who else?
That's about it. Yeah.
Who else?
that
Maybe
man don't
Richard
care about
Rodgers,
no.
nigga?
That man
Like,
don't care about tight ends, man. So, um, it it had to be for two reasons. One, Johnny wanted his money. I think money was the number one reason. Like
how
point
much
blank
money do you
period.
really pay a tight end though, Herbie?
But
That's my
they don't want
thing.
to pay anybody. This is what happened. This is what's going on in Miami right now. This is what's going on in Davie because they really play in Davie. They call the Miami Dolphins. They do play in Miami Gardens, but the base of operations is in Davie, Florida, and it is beer. That is beer, Joe. Rod don't
Brown
give a
paper
damn.
bag, boy.
right,
Brown paper bag.
right.
Yes, sir.
And let me actually get to this comment right here, man. They gave up Too much for a DB and draft pick after giving up a vet and minor star who's growing plus a pick, man. Hey, man. Chris Greer is gonna zag when everybody zigs, man. We already told you this. We know this. That's what he do. That's what he does. Okay, so back to the point I was making. This is clearly about money. We're at the point where if you go down to that Davy office and you ask for a raise, you getting traded. That's what it is. You
Crazy.
getting traded. You ask for a raise, you getting traded. Unless you are a 6 foot dude that's Samoan from Hawaii, you ask for a trade right now. You ask for any kind of money increase for the 2025 Dolphins, you're getting traded. No questions asked.
Shit
Jonnu
crazy.
wanted some money, traded. Jalen Ramsey wanted some money, traded. It is what it is. That's just the vibes, my boy. So, I think it had to do with the money. Secondly, or secondarily, I should say, I think it had to do with the fact that they, for whatever reason, felt that his production was manufactured. I am in the belief that unless you play with Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or the greatest of the greats, your production is not manufactured. Like Peyton Manning could make a Dallas Clark have a borderline Hall of Fame career, and Dallas Clark do nothing with nobody else, right? He's one of the 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time. Tom Brady, you can get Wes Welker with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, and he turns into a near borderline Hall of Famer. And he has 3 career receptions with the Dolphins beforehand.
Tom Brady made Deion Branch a Super Bowl MVP, man. That says it
That
all.
is that. So
That says it all.
if you don't have that caliber of quarterback, peak Aaron Rodgers made James Jones a 10 plus touchdown wide receiver, and he couldn't get any kind of what's Aaron Aaron Rodgers got James Jones a job on TV.
Pretty much.
He's on TV right now because he played with Aaron Rodgers at peak Aaron Rodgers. That's why. So I don't see Tua in that caliber. Not saying Tua's a bad quarterback, but Jonnu Smith had to have had something to do with the career year that he had. Like we all love Mike McDaniels, but Jonnu Smith was the one that had to catch those balls. Jonnu Smith had to get open. Jonnu Smith had to read that coverage. Jonnu Smith had to understand what kind of zone and where to sit. Right? Like
Yeah, good
you're
chemistry with
not.
Tua.
He
He had
had
good
great
chemistry.
chemistry. Why? That's it. Why blow up the chemistry? Why? Why?
Because they don't want to pay tight ends, Herbie. It's not like a tight end's gonna like a tight end asking for money is not like a pass rusher asking for money or a quarterback or one of the central kind of key positions on the team. Like, come on, man. Like the nigga, look, man. It's just Herbie. This I don't want to say that this trade is frustrating because there's a lot of unknowns in this trade. We don't know
True.
how any of these players are going to translate to their respective teams, right? And
Mm-hmm.
these things can go either way. The one thing I'll say though, Herbie, is that the Dolphins, to me, if you look at what the Steelers got and what the Dolphins got, the Dolphins pretty much stayed the same. No, as a matter of fact, I'm lying. The Dolphins got a little worse and the Steelers got a little better. The reason why I say that is because the defensive swap is a wash. Because you're getting two guys who aren't as good as they were in their heydays, but they're still
Mm-hmm.
good enough to be respected. And
Mm-hmm.
then we lost Jonnu, the Steelers got him. So we got a little worse on offense. We basically stayed the same on defense because Minka's a good run defender, and so was Ramsey. So, and our cornerback situation is still up in the air, Herbie, with who's going to start, who you may pick up. I mean, we got guys like Ashton Davis and Artie Burns, Herbie, but these are not cornerbacks that you want starting on your team, like as your main guys on the outside. Like we'll see how everything plays out. We drafted Cam Smith a couple years ago. Maybe he can pan out. I don't know, Herbie. We have too many questions. And that's why, like, this trade to me has just left me feeling really just empty. I'm not like high on it. I'm not low on it. I'm just like, okay, all right. Like that's how this trade has left me feeling. Like that's exactly how
I
I feel.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man.